Welcome to the Allo.Capital podcast. If you're just joining us, we are studying Allo Capital, a new spinout from Gitcoin that's designed to build the capital allocation layer of the post token, post AI internet. There's big upside here. Capital allocation is a multi-trillion dollar design space, and VCs, governments, NGOs, DAOs, everyone has to allocate capital, but it's also a place where we can start small. Every time you spend money, you are allocating capital. We are threading a through line, partnering with builders, researchers, and funders to figure out what on chain, post AI capital allocation looks like and building it. If you want to learn more, you can visit our website at allo.capital, where you can download the Allo books for free, play with some of our dApps, join the Telegram, or participate in the DAO. All right. Today, the episode that I've arranged for you is a show and tell. Thank you to Paul from Gardens and AFO for organizing this show and tell of Allo ecosystem builders. There's an ongoing conviction voting round happening on Gardens, which is run by Paul and team in order to fund the builders in the Allo network. So this episode probably best consumed on video. Check it out on YouTube. If you search Allo Capital, you can find the video version of it, and you can see some of the stuff that's been built in and around the Allo Capital network and within the design space of next generation capital allocation. So I think that we talk about a lot of big ideas on this podcast, and I'm happy to go very pragmatic and just talk about the tangible things that people are building on this episode. And for that reason, I think it's going to complement the season nicely. So I hope you enjoy.
Yeah, so I'll just kick us off an introduction, then hand it over to Paul. But yeah, this is Guardians Allo Builder Showcase number one. This is meant to showcase all the different proposals that are being proposed in the Allo Capital Builders Fund. And yeah, excited to see what people have been cooking up and what they want to build. For my role in this, I'm serving as an operator for the Gardens round, so that's supporting the round and different things. So yeah, Paul, go ahead and take the reins.
Nice. Yeah. I'm gonna share also just a super quick kind of briefer or helpful couple slides for people to help govern this pool. How do I do slideshow? There we go. Okay. So you guys might have heard this collective intelligence is the right decision mechanism plus the right people. We don't, neither of these are proven in this Allo Builders Fund pool. And so we kind of, we're experimenting with both of these. And we don't know if conviction voting on gardens is the right decision mechanism for allocating funding. And we don't know if Allo patron NFT holders are the right decision makers to decide where that funding should go. So both of these things we can play around with and we can adjust parameters and we can update kind of the decision makers, but these are two open questions with this pool. So you guys might have seen the conviction voting results within the pool. So you have your threshold to pass, which is where conviction needs to reach for funding to get distributed. The generally speaking, threshold is higher the more funding that gets requested, and conviction will grow to meet support at the half-life that's set in the pool. And so in this pool, we have it set to 7 days. The council safe talked yesterday, we met and we agreed that we're going to bring that down to 3 days to make proposals a little bit quicker to pass. But the full math for these is in this spreadsheet that I'm going to send out to you guys. There's a lot of really complicated math behind this, but this spreadsheet is a good way to plug in the pool parameters and kind of play with different variations of how much money is in the pool, how much funding is being requested, how many people have activated their governance in the pool, and then it'll spit out an outcome for what the threshold is required to pass and how many people need to add their support for that to pass. So I'm gonna share that in the chat so you guys can play around with it. But like a way for you to check out the math behind this of like how is threshold calculated exactly and yeah, how where are all those numbers coming from? How to govern. So just like a few things as you are participating in this governance pool. First of all, mindset. What proposals, if passed, are most likely to contribute to the success of the Allo Capital ecosystem? That's super important. You in these funding pools, you can support your own funding proposals, and I think you probably should. If you created a funding proposal, then that means you probably have a lot of conviction that your own funding proposal is something that should pass. But if you don't have an active funding proposal, or if your proposal has already passed, then you kind of have the more objective mindset of like, these are all the proposals. What is the best proposal out of these proposals? And that kind of mindset is the most likely to make this like a high ROI funding pool that can keep working in perpetuity. And then also kind of mechanics, how to govern. Only activate governance if you're going to be actively helping make decisions. If you're not going to, then deactivate your governance. After a proposal that you're supporting passes, you should either move your support to other active proposals, or if you're done governing, then you should deactivate your governance. And that's because this third point is your activated governance that's not supporting proposals, you can think of as an abstain vote. So this can be an active decision that you would make. It's like, I don't think any of these proposals should pass. Then you would activate your governance and you would not support active proposals. And that will make it harder for all of the proposals in the pool to pass. So that can be an active decision that you would make, but just make sure that you're making it proactively and not just forgetting to govern the pool. If you're not going to govern the pool anymore, then deactivate your governance. So yeah, that was what I wanted to share. I don't want to cut too much into the time of the presentation, so I'll pass it back to you, Afo. We can get going and see what all these presentations are.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, let's get started. And I'm actually showing the gardens pool right now, which yeah, we'll have some of these projects we'll be presenting. So we have Allo, Cookie Jar, Convex Funding, Fund Loop, PyPay, Infinite Founded, vouch, Impact QF. So yeah, a lot of great projects. So yeah, let's go ahead and kick things off. I think we're good on time. So the first person that's going to be presenting is going to be Kaz with Fun Loop. So Kaz is building out Fun Loop, which I'll drop a link to here to get more details.
Thank you, Phil. Thank you, Paul. My name is Cass. I'm coming from Toronto. I run Toronto Green Pill, and we have come up with a cool little proposal that we call FunLube. I told my daughters about that, and they told me immediately I have to change the name. So maybe the change won't stick because they heard something entirely different. So it's a proposal that is rooted in my strong belief that universal basic income is going to be part of saving the world from AI and Sybil resistance and all of that. But this is not a UBI proposal. This is what I call a citizen salary proposal. It solves a couple of different problems. One is that people will need money going forward, and projects don't really know how to distribute money properly. A lot of projects don't know how to use blockchains, and if and many of them don't know how to figure out who's a Sybil and who's a bot versus a human on their platform. Even if they wanted to compensate their users for being users, they don't really know how to do that. But there are other people that do, and I want to build a competence center for doing that. So that's giving benefits to people. The other big problem that we're solving for or trying to solve for is the cold start problem for projects. So the benefit for the projects themselves is that it's hard to attract users, marketing's expensive, customer acquisition is expensive, and there are many different ways of doing it. But a simple way would be just to compensate people. If you have revenue, share some of your revenue. If you have profit, share some of your profits with your users, and then just word of mouth will take over. So so let's go into the fundamental ideas. We have people that are users of multiple projects. Projects have income from people, maybe memberships, fees, whatever they do. They have other customers, other streams of revenue as well. Most of that's going to go to other expenses. Some of it I'm proposing that they funnel to a communal treasury and recommending a percent, like 1% of their revenues. Could be more, it could be less, but to a communal treasury. And then out of that communal treasury, we pay money back to verified people. And then will make a condition that you have to at least be a member in 2 projects. And then the more projects you are a user of, and you're an active user in good standing, which could be defined, initially we'll define that as you're a user of a project once a month, or projects can define that however they want. You're an active user in good standing, then you'll be reported by the project in a ZK way as a user, and the treasury will know that. We'll also know who is a human versus a bot. So that filter will happen as well. So in the middle here, the blue flows are information flows, and that's just a tentative draft. Happy to take suggestions. The first time around, it's going to be interesting, but the real benefit comes once we've run this a number of times and people get to hear about the project, get to hear that, okay, if you're a member of one of the participating projects or more than one of the participating projects, you will get a citizen salary from the Fund Loop ecosystem governed by Fund Loop. And the only thing that the Fund Loop itself does is ZK processing, TEE processing, trusted execution environment processing with open source code. The real gatekeepers are the projects. We don't really purport to be the gatekeeper at all. That's going to be the projects. They will pay their users. And then the more users are active in the entire ecosystem, the more the ecosystem grows, the more users get paid, the more revenue the project gets, and a positive spiral from there. For Gitcoin perspective, Allo perspective, there's a flavor of users. You could be a user or you could be a user and a builder. If you're a builder, the project can set an X, 5X or 10X of the citizen salary for my builders. So this is also a way of funding builders. And we got a mock-up website here. It doesn't work, but you can click around just to see what the sort of thing would be. We're asking just for a project name, who are your core participants, core admins, and what's your logo, and then take a pledge. Take a pledge to continue contributing 1% in the future. And that's pretty much it. On a monthly basis, we'll ask for your percentage of revenue and we'll ask for a CVS file of your users. And that's pretty much it. Fully privacy preserving, not going to be trackable between projects, who's a member in one project and another. That'll be all CK. Really excited about this, actually. And really hoping that I'll get some of your support from you guys that are holders of the NFT patron, Allo patron entity. So thanks for listening.
Thanks, Chaz. Thanks for being the first one to go up. It's great. Setting the tone. Let's see. Yeah, so any questions? I see there's one in the chat. Monty, if you could put that in Slido, that'd be awesome. And but the one question, oh, I guess we're at time. So any questions that wrap up for Slido, you can either answer in the chat or at the later end of the call, we'll go back and review the Slido. Let's get on to the next one. All right, let me get my timer set up. Cool. Next up, we have Zero with Convex Funding. Are you there, Zero?
If you're enjoying this episode, please check out the remainder of the episode on the feed hosted at allo.capital. You must be a allo.capital patron NFT holder to hear the rest of the episode. Allo.capital patron NFTs give you access to the Alluminati, which is a private community that has access to the Allo DAO's evolution, novel capital allocation, intelligence, and research like this episode, like this podcast, and also research reports that we are publishing at allo.capital, and early access to builds and other innovations in the Allo community. Thanks for listening. If you want to hear the rest of the episode, check it out at allo.capital. Peace and love.